The salvage ship moved through the darkness of space like a tired bird. Marcus Chen sat in the pilot's seat, his fingers dancing across the control panel. He had been doing this job for 5 years now, searching through abandoned ships and stations for anything valuable. It was lonely work, but it paid the bills. His scanner had picked up a Kalrathi trading vessel 3 hours ago. The ship had been drifting without power for at least 2 weeks. Marcus knew the Kalrathi were not pleasant people to deal with, but their ships often carried valuable cargo. He needed this score. His own ship was getting old and repairs cost more each month. Marcus guided his vessel close to the dead ship and extended the docking tunnel. The seal hissed as it connected. He checked his suit one more time, grabbed his tools, and stepped through the airlock. The Kalrathi ship was cold and dark inside. His helmet light cut through the shadows as he moved down the corridor. The main cargo hold was a mess. Containers were scattered everywhere, some broken open and spilling their contents. Marcus cataloged everything he saw. Spare parts, dried foods, medical supplies. Nothing special yet. He was about to leave when he noticed something odd about the floor near the back wall. There were scratch marks, deep ones, as if something heavy had been dragged across the metal repeatedly. Marcus knelt down and followed the marks. They led to what looked like a solid wall panel, but when he pressed against it, the panel shifted slightly. His heart beat faster. Hidden compartments usually meant something valuable or illegal, often both. It took him 20 minutes to find the release mechanism. The panel slid open with a grinding sound that made him wince. His light swept into the dark space beyond, and Marcus froze. A woman was chained to the bulkhead. She was not human. Her skin was pale blue with silver markings that looked like they should glow, but did not. She was thin, too thin, and her clothes were little more than rags. Heavy chains wrapped around her wrists and ankles, connecting to rings bolted into the wall. Around her neck was a thick metal collar with blinking red lights. Her eyes opened slowly when the light hit her face. They were large and dark, filled with such deep fear that Marcus felt his stomach twist. She tried to push herself back against the wall, chains rattling, making a small sound of distress. Hey, it's okay," Marcus said softly, raising his hands. "I'm not going to hurt you." She did not seem to understand his words, or maybe she did not believe them. She kept watching him with those terrified eyes. Marcus had seen a lot of bad things in space, but this was different. This was deliberate cruelty. Someone had kept her here in the dark, chained like an animal. He moved slowly, carefully, showing her his tools. "I'm going to get these chains off you, okay? Just stay calm." The chains were old but strong. It took him almost an hour to cut through them, one at a time. The woman watched every move he made, flinching whenever he came close. When the last chain finally broke free, she slumped forward. Marcus caught her before she could fall. She was lighter than he expected, barely any weight at all. How long had she been here? How long since she had eaten properly? "Can you walk?" he asked. She looked at him, and for the first time, he saw something other than fear in her eyes. Confusion, maybe, or disbelief. She tried to stand, but her legs shook and gave out. Marcus steadied her. "All right, let's take this slow," he said. "My ship is right outside. I've got food, water, a medical kit. We'll get you fixed up." As he helped her toward the door, his hand brushed against the collar around her neck. She gasped and jerked away, almost falling again. The collar made a small beeping sound, and the red lights blinked faster. Marcus looked at it more closely, and his blood went cold. He recognized this type of device. It was a suppression collar, the kind slavers used. It did not just restrain the prisoner. It caused constant pain, keeping them weak and obedient. And if anyone tried to remove it incorrectly, it would kill the person wearing it. "Damn it," Marcus whispered. Getting the chains off was just the first step. That collar was going to be a much bigger problem. He got her back to his ship and settled her in the small medical bay. She sat on the examination table, still watching him with cautious eyes. Marcus grabbed a nutrition bar and a bottle of water, offering them to her slowly. She stared at the food for a long moment before reaching out with shaking hands. She ate, like someone who had forgotten what food tasted like, small, careful bites, as if she expected it to be taken away any second. Marcus had to look away. The anger burning in his chest was getting hard to control. "What's your name?" he asked gently. She looked up at him. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out at first. Then, in a voice that was barely a whisper, she said, "Syra." "Syra," Marcus repeated. "I'm Marcus. You're safe now. I promise you, you're safe." Syra's eyes filled with tears, but she did not let them fall. She had probably learned not to cry a long time ago. Marcus pulled up a chair and sat down, making sure to keep some distance between them. "That collar needs to come off, but I can't do it here. It's too dangerous. I know someone who might be able to help, but we need to get to Blackwater Station. It's about 3 days from here. Can you hold on that long?" Syra touched the collar, with her fingertips wincing as the movement made it beep again. She nodded slowly. "Good," Marcus said. He stood up and grabbed a blanket from the storage locker, draping it carefully over her shoulders. "There's a bunk through that door. It's small, but it's comfortable. You should rest. I'll wake you when we're closer to the station." Syra clutched the blanket like it was the most precious thing she had ever held. She looked at Marcus one more time, and he saw a tiny spark of something in her eyes that had not been there before. Hope, maybe. Or the beginning of trust, thought as Marcus returned to the cockpit and set course for Blackwater Station. He knew he had just made his life a lot more complicated. The Cowrathy did not take kindly to people stealing their property, and that was exactly what he had done. But when he thought about Syra sitting in that dark compartment, alone and forgotten, he knew he would make the same choice again. The first day was the hardest. Syra barely left the small sleeping quarters Marcus had given her. He brought her food 3 times, and each time she looked surprised to see him return, like she expected him to change his mind about helping her. On the second day, she came out to the common area while Marcus was eating breakfast. She stood in the doorway, uncertain, until he gestured to the seat across from him. She sat down slowly, keeping her eyes on the table. "Sleep any better?" Marcus asked. Syra nodded slightly. The collar beeped, and she touched it without thinking. Marcus noticed she did that a lot, like she was checking to make sure it was still there. Or maybe hoping it would be gone. "I know it hurts," Marcus said quietly. "I'm sorry. We'll get it off as soon as we reach the station." "Why?" Syra's voice was soft but clearer than before. "Why what? Why are you helping me?" She looked up at him, and he could see the genuine confusion in her eyes. "You do not know me. I am nothing to you." Marcus put down his fork. "You're not nothing. You're a person. That's enough." "The Cowrathy say I am property," Syra said. The words came out flat, emotionless, like she was stating a fact about the weather. "The Cowrathy are wrong," Marcus said firmly. "Nobody is property. Nobody deserves to be chained up in the dark." Syra studied his face for a long moment, as if trying to decide whether to believe him. Finally, she asked, "What will happen when they discover I am gone?" "They'll look for you," Marcus admitted. "That's why we're going to Blackwater Station. It's not exactly legal territory. Lots of people there who don't want to be found. We can lay low while my friend works on the car. And then? Then you're free to go wherever you want. Do whatever you want." The concept seemed to confuse her more than comfort her. She looked down at her hands, turning them over slowly like she was seeing them for the first time. The marks where the chains had been were still visible on her wrists, deep grooves in her skin, Over the next few days, Sira began to talk more. She told Marcus about her life before the Kalarathi. She had been a scholar, studying human culture and history. Her people, the Villani, believed that understanding between different species was the key to peace in the galaxy. She had been so excited to visit human space, to meet humans in person, to learn their stories. Her research vessel had been ambushed near the border of Kalarathi territory. The crew fought back, but there were too many attackers. Sira remembered being dragged from the ship, seeing her friends killed, feeling the suppression collar lock around her neck for the first time. The pain had been so intense she had passed out. "The collar blocks my abilities," she explained one evening as they sat in the common area. "My people can sense emotions. Sometimes we can even influence them, help people feel calm or brave." The Kalarathi knew this. "They wanted to use me. Use you how?" Marcus asked, though he had a feeling he knew the answer. "For negotiations. For interrogations. They would take the collar off just enough for me to use my abilities, then lock it back on." She touched the collar again. "After a while, I stopped trying to resist. It hurt less that way." Marcus felt his jaw tighten. "How long were you with them?" 7 years. Maybe more. Time became difficult to track. Sira looked out the window at the stars streaming past. "I had 6 different owners. Each one promised I would be treated well if I obeyed. Each one lied. 7 years. Marcus tried to imagine spending 7 years in chains, passed around like an object, having your mind used as a tool for people you hated. He could not even come close. "I'm sorry," he said, knowing it was not enough, but not knowing what else to say. "It was not your fault." "No, but I'm human, and humans let this happen. Our governments know the Kalarathi keep slaves. Most people just look the other way because we want to keep trading with them." Sira looked at him with something like surprise. "You feel guilty for your whole species?" "Someone should," Marcus said, for the first time since he had found her. Sira almost smiled. It was tiny, barely there, but it was real. On the 3rd day, the ship's alarm went off. Marcus ran to the cockpit and checked the sensors. His stomach dropped. 3 ships had appeared on the long-range scanner, moving fast. Their signatures identified them as Kalarathi hunters. "Damn it," Marcus muttered. He had hoped they would have more time. He pushed the engines harder, but the Kalarathi ships were faster. They were going to catch up before he reached Blackwater Station. Sira appeared in the doorway. She saw the scanner and went very still. "They found me. Maybe they're just patrolling the area," Marcus said, but he did not believe it. "No," Sira said quietly. "The collar has a tracking signal. It only activates if I leave a specific range from my registered owner. I did not think about that. I am sorry. I have led them right to you." Marcus spun around in his chair. "Don't apologize. This isn't your fault. We just need to move faster." He rerouted all available power to the engines and changed course, angling toward a nearby asteroid field. If he could lose them in there, they might have a chance. The Kalarathi ships followed, gaining steadily. "Marcus," Sira said. Her voice was shaking. "You should let me go. Put me in an escape pod. When they find me, they will leave you alone." "That's not happening," Marcus said, without looking away from the controls. "They will kill you for taking their property. You're not property," Marcus shouted, surprising himself with his own anger. He took a breath and forced himself to calm down. "Sorry, but no, I'm not giving you back to them. We're gonna figure this out." The asteroid field appeared ahead, a dense cluster of rocks spinning slowly through space. Marcus dove into it without hesitation. The Kalarathi ships followed but had to slow down to avoid collisions. Marcus used every trick he knew, spinning the ship around asteroids, cutting through narrow gaps. killing the engines and drifting when sensors got too close. After an hour of running, he managed to lose 2 of the ships. But the third one stayed on them, moving with the precision of an expert pilot. This one was not giving up. Marcus pushed through the far side of the asteroid field and made a desperate run for Blackwater Station. The station appeared on the scanner, still 2 hours away. The Calrathi ship was 30 minutes behind them. "Come on," Marcus whispered to his ship. "Just a little further." Cyrus stood behind him, gripping the back of his chair. She did not speak, but he could feel her fear like it was his own. Maybe that was her empathic ability starting to come back. Or maybe he had just learned to read her that well in the past few days. The station grew larger on the view screen. The Calrathi ship grew larger on the scanner. It was going to be close. Very close. When they finally docked at Blackwater Station, Marcus practically dragged Syra off the ship. The docking bay was crowded with beings of a dozen different species, all of them looking like they had reasons to avoid questions. "Perfect. This way," Marcus said, leading her through the crowd toward the lower levels where his contact lived. Behind them, the Calrathi hunter's ship slid into the docking bay. The hunt was far from over. Blackwater Station was not a place people came to by choice. It existed in a gray area of space where 3 different territories met, but none of them wanted to claim responsibility. The station's walls were covered in rust and graffiti. The air smelled like oil and something sour that Marcus tried not to think about too much. He kept Syra close as they moved through the crowded corridors. Every species imaginable seemed to be here. Some wore armor, some wore rags. All of them looked like they were running from something or hiding from someone. Nobody made eye contact. That was the unspoken rule of Blackwater Station. You did not ask questions, and you did not look too closely at anyone else. Ria's workshop was on the 3rd level down. In a section of the station where the lights flickered and the floor vibrated from the old recycling systems below, Marcus knocked on the door in a specific pattern. 3 fast, 2 slow, 1 fast. The door cracked open. A woman peered out, her cybernetic eye glowing blue in the dim light. When she saw Marcus, she relaxed slightly and opened the door wider. "Marcus-chan," Ria said. "I heard you were dead." "Close a few times, but not yet," Marcus replied. "Can we come in?" "We need your help." Ria's gaze shifted to Syra, taking in the collar, the thin frame, the way she stood slightly behind Marcus, like she was trying to disappear. Ria's expression hardened. "Calrathi collar," she said. "You know, I do not work on those anymore. Too dangerous." "I know, but please," Marcus said. "Just look at it." She's been wearing it for 7 years. Something flickered across Ria's face. Pain, maybe, or memory. She stepped back and gestured them inside. 7 years. Hell, all right, come in. But I'm not promising anything. The workshop was cramped and cluttered with tools and spare parts. Holographic displays floated in the air showing technical diagrams. Ria cleared off a chair and pointed at it. Syra sat down carefully, like she expected the chair to break under her. Ria moved around her, examining the collar from different angles. She pulled out a scanner and ran it over the device. The scanner beeped and showed information on a small screen. Ria frowned. "This is military grade," she said. "Not just a basic suppression collar. It has multiple fail-safes and a communication module. If I try to remove it wrong, it will kill her instantly." "Can you do it?" Marcus asked. Ria was quiet for a moment, still studying the collar. "Maybe. It will take time. Days, probably. And there's another problem." She pointed at the scanner. "See this? It's a location beacon. It's already transmitting. Whoever owns her knows exactly where she is right now." Syra closed her eyes. "I told you." she said softly to Marcus. I have put you in danger for nothing. Stop that, Marcus said. Rhea, how do we shut off the beacon? We do not, Rhea said. Not without taking off the collar. The two systems are linked. The moment I start working on it, the beacon will increase its signal. Every Calrathi ship within 3 systems will know something is happening. So we have limited time once you start. Very limited, Rhea agreed. She looked at Syra with something like sympathy. This is going to hurt. The collar will fight back when I try to disable it. It will increase the pain signal to make you resist the procedure. I can give you something to help, but it will not block everything. Syra met Rhea's eyes. I have survived 7 years. I can survive a few more days. Rhea nodded slowly. You have courage. Good. You will need it. She turned to Marcus. This is going to cost you. A lot. Whatever it takes, Marcus said. Over the next 3 days, Syra learned what it meant to be free in small ways. Rhea insisted she could not start work immediately. She needed to gather specific tools and study the collar's programming. So they waited. Marcus took Syra to the station's market. She walked slowly, overwhelmed by the noise in the crowd. When he offered to buy her new clothes, she stared at the options like she had forgotten how to make choices. What do you like? Marcus asked. I do not know, Syra said quietly. I have not chosen my own clothes in 7 years. Then just pick something comfortable, Marcus suggested. Something that feels good. She selected a simple gray jumpsuit and soft boots. When she changed into them, Marcus could see relief on her face. The new clothes fit properly. They were clean. They were hers. He bought her food next. Real food, not the nutrition bars from his ship. Syra ate slowly at a small table in the corner of a food stall, and Marcus watched her actually taste things for the first time. She tried something sweet, and her eyes widened in surprise. I forgot, she said. I forgot there were good things. There are lots of good things, Marcus told her. You just need time to remember them. At night, Syra could not sleep. The small room Rhea had given them had 2 bunks, one for each of them. Marcus woke up several times to find Syra sitting up, staring at the wall. On the 3rd night, he asked what was wrong. I am afraid, Syra admitted. What if we remove the collar and I am not the same? What if I have forgotten how to be Villani? What if I am broken? Marcus sat up in his own bunk. You're not broken. You survived something terrible, but that does not make you broken. How do you know? Because broken things do not heal, and you're already healing. I can see it. You barely know me, Syra said. I know enough, Marcus replied. I know you're strong. I know you're scared, but you keep going anyway. I know you think about other people, even when you're suffering. That's not broken. That's brave. Syra was quiet for a long time. Then she asked, why did you become a salvager? You said you collect broken things. Marcus had not expected that question. He lay back down, staring at the ceiling. I had a family once. Wife and daughter. They died in a mining accident 5 years ago. The company that ran the mine cut corners on safety to save money. The accident was preventable. I'm sorry, Syra said softly. After they died, I could not stay on Earth. Too many memories. So I came out here. Started collecting broken things from dead ships. I guess I thought if I could fix enough broken things, maybe I would feel less broken myself. He laughed, but it sounded bitter. Stupid, right? No, Syra said. Not stupid. Human. They talked more that night than they had in all the previous days. Syra told him about her home world, about the way her people's markings would glow in different colors based on their emotions. She had not glowed since the collar went on. She wondered if she ever would again. Marcus told her about Earth, about his daughter who had loved dinosaurs and wanted to be a paleontologist, He had not talked about her in years. It hurt, but it also felt good to remember. On the fourth day, Rhea said she was ready to begin. But before they could start, alarms blared throughout the station. Marcus ran to the window and looked out at the docking bay. His blood went cold. A Calrathi warship had just docked. And walking down its ramp was the largest Calrathi Marcus had ever seen. He wore armor covered in marks that probably represented successful hunts. His eyes scanned the crowd with cold precision. "That's Krelvok," Rhea said from behind him. She had gone pale. "He is the best hunter the Calrathi have. He has never lost a target." Syra took a step back from the window, and Marcus saw all the progress they had made over the past few days disappear. She looked terrified again, small and hunted. Krelvok stopped in the middle of the docking bay. He pulled out a device and spoke into it. His voice boomed through the station speakers. "I am looking for stolen property. A Valani female. I know she is here. I can wait. I have time. But every day she remains missing, I will choose someone from this station at random and take them instead. You have until tomorrow to decide if one life is worth more than many." The crowd in the docking bay shifted nervously. Marcus could see it starting already. People were looking around, suspicious, wondering who among them was the problem that needed to be solved. "We need to remove the caller now," Marcus said. "Today. I need more time," Rhea protested. "We do not have more time," Marcus said. "If we wait, someone on this station will sell us out to save themselves. We have to move now." Rhea looked between Marcus and Syra, then at her tools. She took a deep breath. "All right. But if this goes wrong, we could all die. If we do nothing, we definitely will," Marcus said. Syra sat in the chair again. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. "I am ready." "Then let us begin," Rhea said, picking up her tools. "And let us hope we are fast enough." Rhea worked for 6 hours straight. Her hands moved with steady precision, but Marcus could see the sweat on her forehead. Syra sat in the chair, gripping the armrest so hard her knuckles turned white. The collar beat constantly now, a frantic rhythm that matched Marcus's heartbeat. "The programming is more complex than I thought," Rhea muttered, her cybernetic eye glowing brighter as she worked. "There are layers of security. Every time I bypass one, another one activates." Syra made a small sound of pain. The collar was fighting back, just like Rhea had warned. Marcus could see the muscles in Syra's neck tensing as waves of agony washed over her. "How much longer?" Marcus asked. "I do not know," Rhea said. "Stop talking. I need to concentrate." Marcus paced the small workshop, checking the door every few minutes. Outside, he could hear sounds of the station growing more tense. Voices were raised in argument. Someone had started a fight in the market level. Fear was spreading like poison dot after 8 hours. Rhea sat back and rubbed her eyes. "I found the main failsafe. The one that will kill her if I make a mistake." "Can you disable it?" Marcus asked. "Yes, but there is a problem." "A big one." Rhea pulled up a holographic display. "The collar has a dead man switch. The moment it comes off, it will send out a massive signal pulse. Every Calrathi ship within 3 light years will know exactly where we are. We will have maybe 30 minutes before they arrive in force." 30 minutes, Marcus repeated. "That's not enough time to get off the station and jump to hyperspace." "No, it is not," Rhea agreed. She looked at Syra. "I am sorry. I thought I could do this, but the risk is too high. If we remove the collar, Krelvok will know immediately. He will lock down the station. You will not escape." Syra stood up slowly. The collar beeped one more time and went quiet. "Then do not remove it, what?" Marcus said. I will surrender to Krelvok, Syra said. Her voice was calm, but Marcus could see her hands shaking. It is the only way. If I go to him, he will leave the station. He will leave you alone. Both of you. No, Marcus said immediately. That's not happening. Marcus, please, Syra said. She turned to face him, and he saw tears in her eyes. You have given me more in these past days than I have had in 7 years. You have given me kindness. You have given me hope. You have reminded me that I am a person, not property. That is enough. I cannot let you die for me, and I can't let you go back to them, Marcus said. Don't you understand? If you surrender now, everything we did was for nothing. You'll spend the rest of your life in chains, and you'll know you had a chance at freedom and gave it up. Better me than everyone on this station, Syra said. Why? Marcus demanded. Why is your life worth less than anyone else's? Because I am already broken, Syra shouted. The words burst out of her like they had been trapped inside for too long. I am broken, Marcus. I do not know how to be free. I do not remember who I was before the collar. I do not know if I can ever be that person again. Maybe the Kalrathi are right. Maybe I'm just property now. The silence that followed was heavy. Rhea looked away, giving them privacy. Marcus stepped closer to Syra, close enough to see the silver markings on her skin that still refused to glow. You really believe that? He asked quietly. Syra's shoulders shook. I do not know what I believe anymore. Then let me tell you what I believe, Marcus said. I believe you're one of the bravest people I've ever met. I believe you survived 7 years of hell because you're strong. I believe you're scared right now, which is normal, and I believe that being scared doesn't make you broken. It makes you alive. You do not understand, Syra whispered. You're right, I don't, Marcus said. I've never been a slave. I've never worn a collar that caused me pain every second of every day. I've never been treated like an object. But I do understand loss. I understand feeling broken. And I know that giving up is easy. Fighting is hard. But the hard thing is usually the right thing. Syra looked at him with those dark eyes. Why do you care so much? Because when my family died, I gave up, Marcus said. I stopped fighting. I spent 5 years just drifting through space, collecting junk, not caring about anything. Then I found you. And maybe helping you is my way of trying to fix what I couldn't fix before. Or maybe I just care because that's what people should do. Care about each other. Help each other. Especially when it's hard. You will lose everything, Syra said. Your ship. Maybe your life. I know, Marcus said. But I'll still have something they can't take. I'll know I did the right thing. Rhea cleared her throat. This is very touching, but we still have a problem. Even if we remove the collar, Krelvok will be here in 30 minutes. We need a plan. Marcus turned to her. The Kepler Rift. It's only 4 hours from here, right? Rhea's eyes widened. You cannot be serious. The Kepler Rift is suicide. Ships get lost in there all the time. The spatial distortions destroy navigation systems. The debris field has destroyed more vessels than I can count. But if we made it through, we'd come out on the other side of the sector, Marcus said. Far from Kalrathi space. Far from anyone who's looking for us. If you made it through, Rhea emphasized. That is a very big if. It's better than surrendering, Marcus said. He looked at Syra. But it's your choice. I meant what I said. You get to decide. I won't force you either way. Syra stood there for a long moment. Marcus could see the war happening behind her eyes. Fear against hope. Safety against freedom. The known horror against the unknown future. Finally, she reached up and touched the collar. Remove it, she said. I choose freedom. Rhea nodded and picked up her tools again. Then we need to work fast. Marcus, get your ship ready. Plot a course to the Kepler Rift. Syra, this is going to hurt more than before. The caller will try everything to stop me. I can endure it, Syra said. Rhea worked for another hour. The caller's beeping became frantic, then turned into a high-pitched whine. Syra gripped the armrest so hard the metal bent under her fingers. Sweat ran down her face. Several times, she made sounds of pain that made Marcus want to tell Rhea to stop, but he forced himself to stay quiet. This was Syra's choice. He had to respect it. Finally, with a click and a hiss, the collar fell away. Syra gasped. Her whole body went rigid, then relaxed all at once. She touched her neck with trembling fingers, feeling the bare skin where the collar had been for 7 years. It's gone, she whispered. It's really gone. Then the collar began to pulse. A red light filled the workshop, flashing faster and faster. An alarm sound joined it, growing louder. The signal, Rhea said. It is broadcasting now. You have maybe 20 minutes before every Calrathi in the sector knows exactly where you are. Marcus grabbed Syra's hand. Time to run. They ran through the corridors of Blackwater Station. Behind them, Marcus could hear shouting. Krelvok had heard the signal. The hunt was on. They burst into the docking bay and sprinted toward Marcus's ship. The boarding ramp was already lowering. Marcus practically threw Syra inside and dove in after her. The ramp closed behind him as he ran to the cockpit. Hold on, he shouted, firing up the engines. The ship lurched away from the station. Marcus could see Krelvok running across the docking bay toward his own vessel. They had minutes, maybe less. Marcus pushed the engines to maximum and aimed for the coordinates of the Kepler Rift. Behind them, Krelvok's ship launched from the station, followed by 2 more Calrathi hunters. They are following us, Syra said. She had come to stand behind Marcus's chair. Her hand rested on his shoulder, and he could feel it shaking. I know, Marcus said, but we're not giving up. Not now. Not ever. The Kepler Rift appeared ahead of them, a swirling mass of distorted space that looked like a wound in reality itself. Marcus aimed straight for it. Behind them, the Calrathi ships were gaining. The Kepler Rift looked like madness given form. Space itself seemed to twist and fold, creating impossible angles and colors that should not exist. Debris from old shipwrecks spun through the distortions, appearing and disappearing as they moved between normal space and whatever existed inside the rift. Marcus's hands were steady on the controls, despite the fear crawling up his spine. Behind him, Syra had strapped herself into the co-pilot's seat. Her skin had started to glow faintly, soft silver light pulsing beneath the surface. Her abilities were coming back now that the collar was gone. I can feel them, Syra said quietly. The hunters. Their emotions are so clear now. Krelvok is angry. He has never lost a target before. He will not stop. Then, we better make sure he doesn't catch us, Marcus said. The Calrathi ships were close now, close enough that Marcus could see weapons charging on their hulls. A blast of energy screamed past his ship, missing by meters. They were not trying to destroy the ship. They wanted Syra alive. Marcus dove into the Kepler Rift. Reality stopped making sense. The ship's instruments went crazy, showing readings that contradicted each other. One screen said they were moving forward, another said they were going backward, a third insisted they were not moving at all. Marcus switched to manual control, trusting his instincts over the broken sensors. The Calrathi ships followed them in. Marcus could see them on his rear cameras, twisted and distorted by the spatial anomalies, but still pursuing. They were better equipped for this than his salvage vessel. They had military-grade stabilizers and shielding. He had hope and determination, which would have to be enough. A piece of debris the size of a house appeared directly in their path. Marcus jerked the controls, and the ship spun sideways, missing the debris by centimeters. The ship shook violently. Warning alarms started blaring. "Engine 3 is failing," Syra reported, reading the displays. "Hull integrity at 70%. "We just need to get through," Marcus muttered, wrestling with the controls. Just a little further. Another blast from the Karathi ships hit their rear shields. The ship lurched forward, and Marcus heard something explode in the engine room. More alarms. More warnings. "Engine 3 is dead," Syra said. "Engine 2 is overheating. Marcus, we are not going to make it." "Yes, we are," Marcus insisted, but even he could hear the doubt in his own voice. They pushed deeper into the rift. The spatial distortions grew worse. Marcus saw things in the swirling chaos that his mind could not quite process. Shapes that were the wrong geometry. Colors that did not exist in normal space. For a moment, he swore he saw his daughter's face in the chaos, smiling at him. Then it was gone. "I am sorry," Syra said. "This is my fault. You should have left me in that cargo hold." "Don't," Marcus said sharply. "Don't apologize for wanting to be free. Never apologize for that." One of the Karathi ships behind them hit a large piece of debris and exploded in a ball of fire. One down, 2 to go. But Marcus's ship was dying. Engine 2 went critical, and he had to shut it down before it exploded. They were down to one engine now, limping through the chaos while the Karathi closed in. "Marcus," Syra said. Her voice was strange, distant. "I can feel something ahead." "Something different? What do you mean?" "I do not know. But the rift feels like pain and chaos. Whatever is ahead feels like calm. Like home." Her markings were glowing brighter now, pulsing in patterns that Marcus did not understand. "We are close to the other side." A second Karathi ship lost control and disappeared into a spatial fold. Marcus did not see if it exploded or just vanished into whatever existed between dimensions. Only Krelvok remained, his ship bearing down on them like death itself. Marcus pushed the last engine as hard as it would go. The ship shook and groaned and threatened to tear itself apart, but it kept moving forward. Through the view screen, he could see normal space appearing ahead, like a window of sanity in the chaos. "Almost there," he said. "Just hold on." Krelvok's ship fired again. The blast hit their remaining engine. Every system on the ship went dark. They were dead in space, momentum carrying them forward but not fast enough. The edge of the rift was right there. So close Marcus could almost touch it, but they were not going to make it. Krelvok's ship pulled alongside them. Through the viewport, Marcus could see the hunter himself, huge and armored, already preparing to board. They had lost. "No," Syra said. She unbuckled from her seat and stood up. Her whole body was glowing now, silver light so bright Marcus had to squint to look at her. "I will not go back." "Syra, what are you doing?" She did not answer. Instead, she closed her eyes and reached out with her abilities. Marcus felt it then, felt what she was doing. She was pushing, not with her hands or with any physical force, but with her mind. With emotions so pure and powerful, they became almost tangible. The ship lurched forward. Syra was using her abilities to push them, using pure determination as fuel. Marcus could feel the strain it was putting on her. She had just gotten her powers back after 7 years. Using them this hard, this fast, could kill her. "Syra, stop! You're going to hurt yourself." "I don't care," Syra said through gritted teeth. "I choose freedom. Even if it kills me, I choose freedom." The ship moved faster. The edge of the rift grew closer. Krelvok's ship fired its grappling hooks, trying to snare them, but Syra pushed harder and the hooks missed by inches. They burst through the edge of the rift. and into normal space, Sarah collapsed. Marcus caught her before she hit the floor. She was breathing but unconscious, her markings still glowing faintly. He laid her down gently and ran back to the controls. Krelvok's ship was coming through the rift behind them. But something was wrong. His ship had taken more damage than Marcus realized. As it emerged into normal space, one of its engines exploded. The ship spun out of control, systems failing. Marcus grabbed the communication controls and opened a channel to Krelvok's ship. The hunter's face appeared on the screen, twisted with rage. "This is not over," Krelvok snarled. "I will find her. I will find you both. You cannot run forever." "Maybe not," Marcus said. "But we can run far enough. And one day, there won't be hunters like you anymore. One day, every slave you've ever taken will be free. That's what humans do. We fight for the people who can't fight for themselves. We don't always win, but we never stop trying." He cut the connection and triggered the self-destruct on his ship's engine core. It was damaged beyond repair anyway, and they would need a distraction. The engine began to overload. Countdown ticking. Marcus scooped Syra into his arms. She was light, so light. He ran to the emergency shuttle bay and strapped her into a seat. The shuttle was tiny, barely enough room for 2 people, but it had its own engine and navigation. He launched the shuttle just as his ship exploded. The blast knocked Krelvok's damaged vessel off course, sending it spinning back toward the rift. Marcus did not wait to see if the hunter survived. He plotted a course to the nearest human colony and engaged the engine. Syra woke up 6 hours later. She blinked slowly, confused, then saw Marcus sitting in the pilot's seat and relaxed. "Did we make it?" she asked, her voice hoarse. "We made it," Marcus confirmed. "We're about 2 hours from a colony world called Haven. They don't ask too many questions there. We can lay low, figure out our next steps." Syra sat up slowly, touching her neck where the collar used to be. "Your ship." I felt it explode. "You lost everything." "Not everything," Marcus said. He turned to look at her. "I still have what matters. I do not understand. You have no home, no ship, no money. What do you have?" Marcus smiled. "A friend. And a purpose. For 5 years I've been drifting, not caring about anything. Now I care. About you. About every other person still wearing collars like you did. Maybe I can't save everyone, but I can try to save someone." Syra's markings began to glow, soft at first, then brighter. Colors swirled across her skin, blues and silvers and golds. She looked down at herself in wonder. "I'm glowing," she whispered. "I thought I might never glow again." "What do the colors mean?" Marcus asked. "Joy," Syra said, tears running down her face. "Hope, gratitude, love." She looked up at him. "For 7 years I was told I was property. You showed me I was wrong. You risked everything to prove it. How can I ever thank you?" "You already did," Marcus said. "You chose freedom. Even when it was hard. Even when you were scared. That's all the thanks I need." The colony world appeared on the view screen, green and blue and beautiful. A fresh start. A new beginning. They landed at the colony's small spaceport. The harbor master did not ask many questions when Marcus requested temporary housing. That was the nice thing about border colonies. Everyone here was running from something or looking for something. No one judged. Over the next few weeks, they built a new life. Marcus found work as an engineer at the colony's maintenance facility. The pay was not great, but it was honest work, fixing things that actually needed fixing. Syra started teaching at the local school, sharing knowledge about different cultures and species. The children loved her, especially when she would let her markings glow in different colors to show different emotions. One evening, as they sat outside watching the colony's twin suns set, A message arrived at their small apartment. It was encrypted, sent through anonymous channels. Marcus opened it carefully. Inside was a list of names and locations. Other people like Syra. Other slaves still waiting for someone to save.